Let's talk about a feeling that's more common than you might think. Have you ever felt like you're just watching your life happen from a distance? Almost like it's a movie and you're not the main character. That's emotional numbness, and we're going to get into what it is and why it happens. So, if this quote right here really hits home for you, you're in the right place. It's this weird, disconnected feeling, and today we're going to explore what it is, where it comes from, and most importantly, how you can start to feel connected to your world again. So, what is this state really? Well, it's a feeling of being flat or shut down. You're still functioning, you're going to work, you're talking to people, but it's like the emotional color has been drained out of your life. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a protective shield that your system puts up when things just get to be too much. But what if we looked at this numbness not as a flaw, but as a feature? Let's think of it as your brain's built-in safety measure, something designed to protect you when you really need it. That's the key right there. It's a protective mechanism. Think of it like your brain hitting a big pause button on all those intense feelings when it senses you're totally overwhelmed. It's just a way to dim the lights for a bit so you can focus on getting through whatever is happening. This here is a really brilliant concept called the window of tolerance. That middle ground is our sweet spot for handling life. But when we get pushed too far, we can go one of two ways. We can fly up into hyperarousal. That's your classic fight or flight, where you're anxious and panicked. Or we can drop down into hypoarousal. That's the freeze state. That's where everything just kind of shuts down to survive. And that's exactly where emotional numbness lives. So the big question is, what pushes us out of that window and into that numb space? Well, the triggers are different for everybody, but they all boil down to one thing: being completely overwhelmed. The causes usually fall into a few big categories. We're going to look at three of the most important ones: trauma, chronic stress, and something that might surprise you: medication. First up, trauma. Whether it's a single intense event or something that happened over and over for years, trauma can actually change how your brain responds to the world. Detaching or dissociating becomes a survival tool that the mind learns to use to protect itself from pain that feels unbearable. Then you've got chronic stress. Just imagine your body is constantly pumping out the stress hormone, cortisol. After a while, your system can actually become less sensitive to it. It's kind of like an alarm that's been blaring for so long, you just start to tune it out. And the result? You're left feeling exhausted, drained, and emotionally flat. But here's another piece of the puzzle, and it's a big one: medication. Now, this number might look pretty shocking, but it's the high end of how many people report emotional blunting when taking one of the most common types of antidepressants. Yeah, so a major review found that for people on SSRIs, emotional blunting is a really significant side effect. I mean, the whole point of the medication is to lift you out of depression, but for some people, it can also turn down the volume on everything, the good feelings along with the bad. And this is exactly how people describe it. It's not just feeling less sad, it's that the highs feel lower and the lows feel, well, not much of anything. Both positive and negative emotions get muted, and you're kind of left in this neutral gray area. Okay, so understanding the why is super empowering, right? Because it gives us clues about the how. So let's dive into some practical steps you can take to start reconnecting with your feelings in a safe way. So, getting back in touch with your feelings doesn't start by forcing yourself to cry or laugh. It actually starts with the body. Simple, consistent things like a short walk, eating regular meals, getting enough sleep, these send powerful signals of safety to your nervous system. It's about creating the right conditions for your feelings to come back on their own. Getting professional support can be a total game changer. Things like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help you learn to name and understand what you're feeling. For trauma, specialized work like EMDR can help your brain reprocess those tough memories. And this is really important. If you think your medication might be part of it, it is absolutely essential to talk to your doctor about your options. This is such a critical shift in mindset. Your first instinct might be to fight the numbness, to try and force yourself to feel something, anything. But that pressure can totally backfire. A much better approach is to get curious. Just gently observe the numbness without judging it and ask, what might this be telling me? And that brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from all of this. It's a huge shift in how we think about emotional numbness. If you remember just one thing from our time together, let it be this: feeling numb does not mean you are broken. It's just a signal. It's your brain's check engine light letting you know that your system is overloaded and it needs some attention, it needs rest, and it needs care.
So I want to leave you with this question. Because asking, what do I need, instead of what's wrong with me, well, it changes everything. It moves you from a place of self criticism to one of self compassion. And that shift, it's not just a nice thought, it's the very key that opens the door to feeling fully alive again.